Okay, so what kind of situation do we have at the moment on AUD CAD? Now let's start from the weekly time frame. What do we have on this pair? From a weekly perspective, we have a market that has created this overextended W formation, and after an overextended W formation, what do you expect is the market to make a move to the downside. So from the weekly time frame, we can already expect the market sooner or later to start a move to the downside. What we can also identify from a weekly perspective is that the market is currently at this very important structure level. In fact, we had strong support here, turn resistance here, again resistance at this area, and all this structure resistance is again resistance here, and we can expect the market to react to this area. Going down on the daily time frame, what kind of situation we have from a daily perspective? On the daily, we can see that overall the market has created this minor AW formation breaking above the high, so the market created an impulse, creating a higher high and breaking above this previous resistance, which is now turned support from a daily point of view. Now, if we want informations on this retracement, what are we supposed to be doing? Taking our Fibonacci on the impulse, so from the low to the high of the impulse. And what we can see is that currently we have a 0.382 Fibonacci level lining up perfectly with the structure support that we had already identified from a structure perspective, creating a very strong confluence of support at this area. So inside of here, we have clearly a strong confluence of support. However, from a weekly perspective, we would like to see the market make a move to the downside. So the two things are clearly showing, the daily and the weekly are clearly showing in opposite scenario. Now let's consider what is the situation from a COT perspective. So commitment of traders, what hedge funds are doing at the moment in the market. Let's go and see what we have on the AUD and then what we have from a CAD point of view. Now on AUD, what kind of situation we have? On AUD, we can clearly see that at the moment, hedge funds with the last report have added more shorts, but at the same time, they are continuously adding longs. But if we look at what we have at the moment, we are sitting at minus 39K net positions. So we have shorts outweighing longs with 64K shorts and 25K longs from an institutional perspective on the CAD. So in the long term, since we have such a high short exposure, 48.8%, we can still expect in the long term to see a push to the downside on the AUD, even though in the short term, we might get some strength. If we go and see what we have from a CAD perspective, we can see that overall we went from 18K net positions all the way down to minus 35K net positions. So from having longs outweighing shorts to having shorts outweighing longs. And with the last report, hedge funds had added another 8.9K shorts. So in the long term, we can expect CAD weakness, which explains perfectly the contradiction that we have at the moment from a price action perspective. Weekly bearish, but daily bullish. So how we will be approaching this pair with students? Now, first of all, from here, the market should easily manage to continue higher. However, even if the market should and probably will manage to continue higher, we are not interested in longs on AUD CAD because they don't have a good probability and are not satisfying our rules. Therefore, we are not interested in longs. We are perfectly fine with missing out on the move to the upside. There are way better pairs to be following. But if during this trading week, the market will manage to break below this confluence of support, then this area will become a confluence of resistance and we will have a weekly time frame that is aligning with the daily, both indicating for a move to the downside. And after the break, if it will happen, probably not, but if it will happen, then on the retracement back to retest the level, what we will be doing with students, we will be monitoring price action from a 4-hour perspective inside of this area, waiting for the market to provide to us one of our valid entries. And if the market will provide to us one of our valid entries, we will be taking a very nice short with a good risk to reward and good probabilities for a nice move to the downside, completion of this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the downside, creation of this head and shoulders pattern, and obviously we will also have the confluence of the Fibonacci taken from the high to the low of the impulse that the market will create. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you, and I will see you in the next video.